welcome to the channel. It's Rad, and tonight is time for the immediate guidance from my tarot cards. And the first thing that I'm usually doing, this is going to be the collective reading. So let me shuffle and have a look what the energies are around and are surrounding us. What kind of a weekend we are going to have. Hey, Taco. Welcome to the stream. I reckon you are in the mountains. Or at the mountains, I'm sorry. As you mentioned that you're going for quite of a hike. So have you been there? All right, first one, that would be nine of wands. Okay. I'm gonna check them out. Next one is easy, 4 of wands. And third one, that will be 9 of pentacles. So we have these three for the energies which are gonna surround our weekend ahead. And it's important to acknowledge one of the combos here. This is 9 of pentacles with the 9 of wands, and the only thing that these couple of cards do speak is that there is always going to be a better thing, you know, for example, a better technology that you can purchase, a better place that you can go, a better person to go out with, you know, better job to work, and so on and so forth. So the reason why these two cards usually comes up together is because people were in a very often enters in a mode, let's put it that way, to seek for perfection, to buy, you know, the perfect phone or the perfect TV or I don't know, the perfect set of dishes or a perfect car and whatnot. And these two cards comes up as there is no such thing. There is always going to be a better set that is going to come around, right? And so eventually one is better to settle on something that will simply gonna work for them at that given point rather than to constantly wait. Because I remember back in the days when I was buying my first computer, and of course I wanted to have the best thing possible, and the person that was advising me was telling me, if you wait for a good price versus, you know, production or computing power, you're never gonna buy one, because they always comes a new part of it, so you eventually have to settle for something. And next few days, let's call it the weekend, with these three cards, there are going to be quite of a few things that we are going to get done, especially if it comes to purchases, especially if it comes to some sort of a final attendances, for a lack of better word here, you know, undertakings, which a few things are left that needs to be attended to, so we can call it, you know, over, so we can call it a day. And at that point, it's gonna be best if we do settle for the one that works best for us at that given point, rather than to wait for, you know, I don't know, the perfect edition or the perfect moment or the perfect person to come around, because they may never come around, or not in a reasonable time frame, ahead. And if we kind of like set our jaw into getting the job done, right, next few days are going to be super productive, because we're really going to get the job done. What I mean is that these important aspects that we need to attend to are going to be attended to, and that will allow us to traverse into a new phase. For some of us, it's going to be a big thing, a new phase in their lives. For others, it's going to be rather a smaller thing, like a new phase. It's not even a new phase, but can I put it into words? A new chapter in a specific field of their life, and so on and so forth. But we can get a lot done in the next few days. Important thing is that there will be no right or wrong way how we can do it. It all comes to whether we are going to settle or not on a certain option in front of us, on a certain possibility in front of us. And if we do so, by the end of the week, we're going to feel very good with ourselves that we had get a quite of a job done. Quite a lot done. A specific interpretation of these cards are for those of you guys who are single, and the same energy is in place, is that you're going to have quite a few options. Almost all of them are going to be working for you to a reasonable extent, let's put it that way. Not perfectly, but to a reasonable extent. And it's advisable by the cards to give someone a chance. Good morning, Amelia. All right, so that was the collective, and now a few notes. There are going to be 12, not 12, but 12 readings like this one for each star sign. And I'm going to start with Aries, and I'm going to end up with Pisces. So while most of you are here probably to listen to your sun sign, because that reading is going to show you the type of events and people that you are going to be faced with by the universe. Listening to your moon sign is also important. To know your moon sign, you just have to look into your natal chart and see where the moon lies for you. And that reading is going to show you how these events and people are going to make you feel. And if you know your exact date of birth, or rather hour of birth, I'm sorry, the date of birth gives you the sun sign. The hour of birth, though, is going to give you the rising sign. And listening to it, that is going to be your guidance reading, telling you what is going to be the best way to handle your stuff around. So listening to all three of yours major signs is going to give you much more personalized and also broader perspective on what is ahead of you. Other than that, if you do want to support the show financially, you can do so using Super Chat or a PayPal, which link you can find in the description down below. And anyone who does so, you guys are gonna have a reading by the end of this at the end of the stream. That is guaranteed. And if you do wish to have a personal reading with me, you can go to my website, which link you can also find in the description down below. And based on your budget and your needs, there is going to be a service for everyone's needs. Wow, that is, oh my God, where did you park? Well, that's crazy amount. I don't know how much you want to say the tickets are in US. I assume you are there because you're saying dollars. That amount is freaking crazy. And why your names are coming in a weird way. Okay. All right, so the first star sign I'm going to read for, this is going to be Aries. You can keep up what star sign I'm reading for through the glyph and illustration being displayed right there. And right now, Aries is running. So Yasmin, thank you for the 20. Thank you. Taco, thank you for the $22.22. Thank you, Taco. Let me put you into the list, both of you into the list, and at the end of the stream you're going to have a personalized reading. Right, okay. So like I said, first one, Aries. Oh, I get it. But it's a crazy price for a parking ticket. Ace of Swords, 10 of Wands, and then the third one, that will be Page of Cups. Page of Cups. Oof. All right. What you need to know is that there are going to be certain things that you haven't got away with, and for most of you, you have already forgotten about them because they were rather negligible. I mean, certain obligations they were negligible, and because they didn't, they haven't been mm, demanded from you in time. You just kind of like forgot about them. It's like you got away with them, but you haven't. And within the next few days, like 2, 3, 4 days, that person which you do have, or these people that which you do have obligations toward, are gonna come around and confront you with them. And what you need to know is that you shouldn't be afraid of speaking your mind, whether you would want or not to take on those obligations or not. What you need to know also is that if you should decide to keep up with the obligations, they're gonna hold a rather really good reward by the end of when you are finished. But if you undertake them, then you will have to do them by the book if you do want that reward to come your way. Chandra, thank you for the 20. Thank you, Chandra. Let me put you into the list. And at the end of the stream, you're going to have a personalized reading. Right, so for you, Aries, when you are confronted with something, and you will be well, for the next few days, it will be best if you always speak your mind and you always speak the truth. Next one, that will be Taurus. I'm sorry. So we do have Taurus. I hope that at least the concerts were okay. Shall I say? Seven of Wands. That is yes, Seven of Wands. King of Cups, and then the third one that is going to be Queen of Cups. So you will make people around you, not everyone, but people around you, quite unhappy, and you need to know that you are within your rights to do so. The reason why you're gonna make some people happy is because for the next couple or 4 days, you are going to be approached by few with a certain proposition. The problem though with that is that you will be you're going to be in a stage where you have already outgrown what it is proposed to you, but these people will think that you are out of your mind rejecting them. So this is going to piss them off that you are kind of like, you're not interested into what they're offering. The offer is going to be, like I said, a good one, but at that point you're going to find yourself outgrowing it. And the other side of the people, kind of like you're going to piss with rejecting some people, and the others you're going to piss because, now this is more difficult to explain here, Taurus. is because they will want to be close to you, like really part of your life, and know your, say, intimate secrets, like to know a sensitive information about you, to know what is the English expression here, the in and outs of your life. And for some reason you're going to feel quite uncomfortable with that, so you're not going to allow them to do so, and they will be pissed off because of it. So as a result, it's likely that you may find yourself under attack, verbal attack, I mean, from quite a few places. Also, you may find yourself kind of like sitting alone against many, and that shouldn't bother you, because you should not forget that you are above these people in position, like you are above um, in options available, you are above in a status of society, and in generally you are above them in any single way. So their disgruntledness should not bother you at all. Right. Next one, that will be Gemini. But that is also a crazy length, crazy mileage. And you are worried whether you're going to have a problem with the car or not. 7 of Swords, 10 of Swords, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. Oof. Gemini, Gemini. I don't know how you're going to do that, because it kind of feels like shooting yourself in the foot. So what these cards are showing here is that there is a specific person around you that is using you for their own ends, and you can simply do better for yourself if you are without them. You can simply do better. And with that 10 of Swords to the 7 of Swords, you very well know who that is, or what organization that is, which is using you for their own ends. Okay. And what you need to know it is that if you do decide to stop that siphon, because at least to me, the way I imagine it, it is that they are siphoning whether your time, whether your finances, whether, I don't know, your skill as well, or your knowledge, and they are using it for their own progress moving forward. If you do want to stop that siphon, it needs to happen abruptly and very, very decisively. What you need to know is that it is time to start thinking for yourself and for your own agenda, and the hell with anyone else's agenda and anyone else's ends. That is what you need to know. Okay, next one will be Cancer. Four of Pentacles, Three of Wands, Two of Swords. What you need to know is that you're going to settle for in the next few days. And the way that these cards is describing the situation is like a conundrum. Like no different than having two very similar jobs that you can work, and you do have offer for either of them, and you just can't figure out which one you should go for because they're, you know, very close. It's like one cannot decide. And what you need to know is that this conundrum is gonna end, and is gonna end rather very successfully, because whatever option, whatever choice you make, whether whom to date with, whether what job to work, right, or where to live, because you may have two places where you can live, two apartments that you can rent, and they're just, you know, literally all the same, and kind of like having difficulties deciding which one to go for. That conundrum is going to end because you're going to, at least according to these cards, you're going to make up your choice, and that will ensure your future in the undertaking. It will ensure your future of the place where you're going to live, or in the dates that you're going to do, or in the job that you're going to start working, depending on what the conundrum for you is all about. Could be a conundrum how to go about one thing. You know, you may have a couple of options how you can go about your husband or wife, or your person of interest, you know, or your boss, and settling on one is going to ensure a future with that person, or with that endeavor. Okay, next one, that'll be Leo. Five of Cups, the World, Nine of Swords. So unfortunately, what you need to know is that what you are afraid of happening is going to happen. And this is where the bad news really ends. Because the way that it's going to happen, and the happening in general on its own, is not going to be as bad as you think that it's going to be. For example, the disappointment ain't going to be that big of a disappointment, or the loss that you may be expecting to suffer is not going to be as big as you are expecting it. And even more, the disappointment is going to be temporary disappointment, or the loss will be just a partial one. And in either of these couple of cases, you can just make up for it. So it's something that you can earn back. You know, the money that you can lose, you can earn back, or the trust that you may wobble in someone, you can stabilize, and so on and so forth. But the important part, it is that all this comes from a decision that you had made recently, and what you need to know is that the decision was correct. I mean, that was a choice that it was well made for the information and for the circumstances under which it was made. So you haven't done anything wrong. And I am saying that because in these situations, people kind of tend to be too hard on themselves, like, I could have done better. No, you did best. And no one else could have done it any better than that. It's just sometimes consequences follow. And for you, Leo, that is one of those times. That is no different than having a super tough job, like a super ungrateful and very hard job. And, just know that the right thing is to quit it, and you quit it, and then you have to face the consequences of not having a salary at the end of the month. And while that is a very disappointing consequence that leads to a loss, in the long run, you actually win, because the new job that you're going to get will earn you more, and it's going to be more pleasant to go about. So you're going to have one of these situations, that I'm giving as an example. It doesn't have to be with a job. It could be with a relationship. It could be with something else. But basically, you have done the right thing. Okay, next one, Virgo. Two of Wands, Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles. Oh, all right. So you're gonna face a very harsh reality. And I have been in these situations for quite so many times. That is the situation where people are your friends and they cheer you up for as long as you are not as successful as they are. But as soon as you start becoming as successful as them, or more successful than they are, you are suddenly, not that very welcome, really. And suddenly you become, the word is not a threat, but you become, um, unwanted. It is the best way how I can describe it. And so you're gonna have to face that reality. The reason why is because, sitting on a good accomplishments thus far, next few days are going to be quite explosive in that regard, and you are gonna accomplish even bigger achievements in those departments which are going very well right now. And the people that are close to you will not gonna share your vision. I mean, they just don't want you to grow in these departments. No different than, your where whenever parents has a dream for their child to be a medical doctor, and instead the child excels in art, like in painting or in singing and so on and so forth. And that makes the parents very unhappy, and kind of like a very aggressive toward the child, like very poignant toward the child. So that is what you're going to experience from your friends, from your family members, maybe from your spouse as well. And while their support is not going to end entirely, definitely is going to abate. Suddenly, you're not going to find yourself being that support emotionally by those around you. That should not stop you, though. You should remember your goal and follow it, no matter what. Next one, that will be Libra. Six of Wands. Six of Cups. Justice. Well, it may not come from the family, making it extra hard. I just, hopefully I'm not a terrible harbinger, a harbinger of a terrible news. But in my experience, Amelia, forecasts happen the way you expect the least. So usually it's not what you are anticipating when you hear a forecast for the future. Jennifer, thank you for the $8.88. Thank you. Let me put you into the list. Okay. All right, so back to Libra. You guys are gonna be quite busy for the next few days, for the next 4 days. Quite of tasks and responsibilities are going to be hanging on top of your head, and you're gonna feel compelled and obliged to attend to all of them. So you're gonna find rather quite, if at all, in fact, a time for yourself for the next 3 to 4 days. But this time around, the job you're gonna do, or the attention you're gonna give, the commitment, the dedication, the devotion that you're gonna put in, are not gonna be left unnoticed and are not going to be unrewarded. On the contrary, fulfilling those responsibilities, keeping up to the demand that it will be directed towards you, you will get recognition, and also you are gonna get bonuses. So next 4 days are going to be, at least according to these cards, super if you give some extra to your job. For example, staying an hour or two late, working throughout the weekend, so on and so forth. That will be noticed, and not just only noticed, but also rewarded. It's not going to be a simple job though. What I mean is that attending to these tasks and responsibilities is not going to be like walking the park, unfortunately. So they will be rather quite demanding and not pleasant at all. Pleasant, I mean, like, having a good time performing them. It will be kind of serious performance, tense and quite unnerving. And thus, these rewards are gonna feel extra sweet. Jasmine, thank you for the 20. Thank you, Jasmine. Let me put you into the list. And at the end of the stream, you're gonna have personalized reading. Hold on a second. To know what you need to know. Jennifer, let me put your inquiry. There we go. Okay. All right, next, Scorpio. Knight of Wands, King of Cups, Ten of Wands. Shona say, thank you for the 20. Thank you. Well, I can't guarantee that it's going to be a great one. Whatever the cards show, it's what I say. Okay. All right, for for a Scorpio, it's a creative work ahead. Yeah, really creative one. It has nothing to do with professionalism whatsoever. So next 4 days, what you need to know it is that you should listen to your passion and to your muse rather than what the book is saying about doing your job or about I don't know, going forward with some kind of romantic interest and whatnot. Because what the book is saying is going to accomplish average results, which it's not gonna fulfill us in any means. We are going to end up discovering something very interesting to us that is gonna ignite our interest into it, and it will be important that we delve into it completely. Like that should be the only thing that matters for the next 4 days, because doing so we're gonna establish a pattern. I don't know how to explain it in another way. So we're going to establish a pattern, which pattern is going to provide, for example, interest, things to do, money. That depends, what we are going to end up doing. But we are going to have the passion, the enthusiasm, and also the eagerness, the tenacity to see it through to the very end. And again, it's not about a professional representation, like a professional exertion. It's about muse, it's about, again, passion, and it's about creativity. So that is what we need to know as a Scorpio. Next one. I forgot to change the star signs. All right, so next one, Sagittarius. Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, the Strength, so what I need to know is that there is going to be attempts, plural, for you to be manipulated. Can I put it to words? Well, I'm going to try to explain it that way. Someone will try to beguile you into believing that doing what they want will make your life far better than it is. Like, no different than a scam, because that's what scam is. Attempt to be beguiled into doing what the email or whatever is saying magically is going to make your life better. And what you need to know it is that it's a complete scam. I mean, it's not gonna make your life better. In fact, it's gonna make your life much more stressful. I don't know how exactly, but that is what the cards are saying. And also, there is a danger your certain secrets of yours to come alight, and everyone to know them. So what you need to know it is that best thing you can do for the next 3 to 4 days is to sit on the things you have already acquired, sit on your projects, sit on your job, sit on your family, sit on your butt, if I may put it that way, and don't allow anyone or anything to throw you off course. Just simply learn to say no. Okay, next one, that will be Capricorn. By the way, guys, when are you changing your clocks? For America, I mean. Because we, the Europeans, are changing the clocks 2 days from now at Sunday. I'm not exactly sure because I know that there is a difference. Can someone tell me when do you American are changing the clocks? For Capricorn, 3 of Wands, first one. 3 of Cups, second. And then is a Knight of Wands. So what you need to know is that a big challenge is about to be directed towards you. And under challenge, I don't mean it in a bad way. That is like a challenging project that can reward you with a lot, a challenging work that can reward you with a lot, or a challenging person that if you are able to handle will reward you with a lot. That is something which upgrades you, upgrades your job, upgrades say your status in generally it's an upgrade. And couple of things you need to know about, actually 3 things you need to know about it. It will cause a, or it will spark a very high interest in you. So as soon as the challenge arrives, it will be the only thing that you can think of, at least for a while, because it's going to be super interesting for you, and you're going to have the drive to try it out and to see whether you can handle the challenge or not. The second thing you need to know is that almost everyone will try, every close to you will try to put you off it, like it's going to tell you that you don't need that right now. And while you may not need it, uh, it's not going to hurt if you try to develop it, because almost every single one of you is going to be able to develop it. And like I said, it will be very rewarding at the end. And the third thing that you need to know is that you should not be discouraged mm, of seeing no progress at first, because the first results are going to be delayed. Okay? That means that if you do decide to take on the challenge, because that could be a challenging person for you to get along with, get to know with, and get to date with. Okay. Don't get discouraged if you don't see immediate results of your attempts. They will come, but they're just going to be delayed, and they will come in full. Like, are going to be bigger than than you are anticipating when these first results come about. So just don't get discouraged. Thank you, Shauna say. All right, next, Aquarius. Nine of Cups, Five of Pentacles. Hey, Rocky, welcome to the stream. Four of Cups. It's super easy interpretation. Next few days, for us, the Aquarius, certain things are gonna happen. They're gonna differ depending on what situation we're in. Rocky, thank you for the 28 Canadian. Thank you, Rocky. Let me put you into the list. Okay, so back to Aquarius. Like I said, certain things are gonna happen. Medical is not excluded. Okay, like I am rising Aquarius, and for the last few days, I got a bit worried. Things are getting better now on their own accord, but I got worried. I start feeling pain into my abdominal. I just don't know where it comes from, what causes it, you know, and whatnot. But it faded away. Uh, the causes could be different, right? But bottom line is that they're gonna force Aquarius to start changing their lifestyle in a certain way. Healthier diet, spending less money or spending more money. For example, it could be, you know, trusting. A healthy sense of mistrust could be the change as well if you are way over too trustly. And this change into lifestyle, we guys are gonna start loving it immediately, right? Just immediately. The change into lifestyle could be, for example, if some of us are lazy, because I am lazy, okay? And seeing that this kind of like interferes with the good flow of life, we may decide to change that and immediately fall in love. It's just this change into the lifestyle. First thing is that we are going to super like it. We're going to like it quite so much. And the second thing that is going to do is a certain concerns, problems, or difficulties that we are facing on daily basis gone. That we're no longer going to pose any concern, any issue, or any predicament. Okay, so what we need to know is that we're going to fix our lives as Aquarius. It may be a temporary patch for some, but patch nonetheless. And last but not least, that will be Pisces. News Devon, thank you for the £5. Thank you. Okay, first one for Pisces, Eight of Cups. Yep, Eight of Cups. Ace of Cups. And the third one is going to be the Devil. So it's a confirmation, no different than the state where someone is leaving, like leaving for a business trip, or you know, for some kind of a deal that they do have that they have to figure out on their own, and they're telling you, you know, I will return, and it's a promise that is going to be kept. So what you need to know, it is that the promise for the future that you are going to receive in the next 3 or 4 days, because there is going to be not at least one promise for the future, like the promise, I can't promote you now, but you are getting the next one, right? Or I can't raise your salary now, but after New Year you are getting one. I can't take you in now, but in a couple of months you can move in, right? Whatever the promise is, it will come through. It's gonna come through. And the way that it's going to come through, it will be exactly the way you need it to be. So this isn't going to be unrealistic, or kind of like plagued with an unrealistic expectation, or a fulfillment that will carry on no weight in your life. On the contrary, is going to carry on a big one. I mean, a big, well, a big weight in your life. So what you need to know here, Pisces, is while within the next 3 or 4 days, what is gonna be said to you will be a bit underwhelming, and it will create unfulfilling or kind of like a mediocrely, if that's a word, fulfilling circumstances. The promise for the future is going to carry on a far better and very fulfilling, very satisfying perspective for you. All right, that was for the 12th. And now moving for the super chat. Okay. Okay, first one, that would be Yasmin. Give me a minute, Yasmin. That is so strange. All right, so those are your cards. MT, welcome to the stream and thank you for the 20. Thank you, MT. Let me put you into the stream, into the list. I'm sorry. That is quite of a difficult interpretation. Um, there is going to be an argument. That is what you need to know. There is going to be an argument, and this argument will be about feelings. Will be about feelings. I don't know if it's gonna be with your spouse though. That is something that I cannot confirm here by the look of the cards. Um, and this argument is going to be because on a subject that one that loves doesn't do that way, right? Like mm, if you love me, if you like me, or if I mean what you say to you, you wouldn't do that. So that is what's going to be the argument about. The thing is, at least according to these cards, is that the person that you're going to have an argument with is going to agree with you, but then why are they going to act that way? Like it's almost makes no freaking sense. Oh, oh no. Do you know what it is? It's how do you call it in English? It's overcare. Like it takes care for you so much that it becomes aggravating. You know, it's like putting you in a place where you know you're like a little child that can't take care for themselves, and so that is what's gonna piss you off. That is what's gonna piss you off. And for what I know, you know, it could be, for example, your supervisor or your boss that is putting you so much under your wing that you are starting to become to feel very awkward at that place, and kind of like provokes an argument for them, you know, not to do that, even if you know they do love you or they do like you, not to do that because it puts you in a precarious position with your colleagues. So because you know that person will have quite a lot of affection towards you and will want to make you feel you know, protected, loved, and special, they're gonna kind of go a bit over the top with the caring situation, and it's just is gonna feel out of place, and so that is what's gonna provoke the arguments, and to a certain extent, well, it's not gonna be a disagreement, but it's kind of gonna be an argument where you're just going to adjust the relationship you both have. It's not gonna be a big deal, Yasmin, but still a bit of an unpleasant experience that you have to go through, and adjust, you know, the relationship you're gonna have with that person so it can become uh, normal again. Okay, next that will be Taco. Hey, Taco. So have you went on a hike? Right, so those are your Lenormand cards. You do have the ship, the tower, and the fish. Those are your tarot cards. Okay, those are your tower cards. And what you need to know is that the bill is coming. Oh, okay. Some kind of a bill is coming, or a payment request that is going to come your way if you want the things to go forward, and it involves an institution, a government, for example, it could be also a lawyer, or a medical center, for example, some kind of an institution that will have either a payment requirement or a bill is going to come around, although I think is that it's going to be a payment requirement. You're not going to like it at first. It will sound, a bit off chart, but through back and forth, through negotiations back and forth, you can kind of like achieve a concession, like a compromise, like a common ground that's we're not gonna suit both sides in a sense of that. For example, they're gonna want more to take away from you. You're gonna wanna pay less, and so what's gonna happen is that you're gonna pay more than you want. They're gonna take less than they want, but you both are gonna get the job done. So you're gonna get the job done and start the process, and the process should kind of like go very well and uh, get the intended work done. So that is what you need to know. Okay, next, Chandra. You're welcome, Taco. Have a nice one, Taco. Have a nice supper. All right, Chandra, those are the cards for you. And things at work are going to turn for the better. Uh, the way I see it are some concurrent customers or a customer that will put a bit of sense of stability there, and some I would say some tips or some bonuses, some financial injections, for a lack of better words. But that that client is gonna have a one, or clients, because it may not be just only one, but a clients are gonna have a one requirement from you to make them feel special in a certain way. For example, with your attention toward them, your deals toward them, and so on and so forth. But again, they are going to be a recurrent client, so they are gonna come back and back and back for for your services. It's going to start small though, with a potential to grow rather very big. But what is the important part here, and what you need to know, is that your business, from a state of uncertainty, like, relying on people to find it out, and to place one order at the time and whatnot, now is gonna have a, again, recurrent clients, couple, or it could be just only one that it can rely on, that to bring a steady flow of income. So that is what I need to know. All right, next, that will be Chandra. Not Chandra, but Jasmine. Sorry, I already did Chandra, so it will be Jasmine. You're welcome. All right, Jasmine. Those are cards. So, unfortunate, what you need to know it is that you're gonna find out that there are some fixes that needs to be done at the place you live. I can't say really renovations. It's more like fixing. Like, you may find that there is a leakage in your bathroom, or there is something with the floor in your living room, or something in the kitchen and whatnot, and that will kind of like provoke, say, arguments with your landlord. And it's not going to be an argument whether or not it should be fixed. It's going to be an argument how and when to fix it. Okay, because your landlord at first will propose a uh, or will try to exert a much cheaper and temporary fix rather than a permanent one. So it will come to you to, can I put it into words, to convince them to do otherwise. You can definitely do so, but you need to address the matter with conscientiousness, even from their point. Like, they need to um, see that you are putting yourself in their shoes as well, and it's kind of like is approaching their side with, again, conscientiousness, and that will convince them to open up their pockets. So that is what you need to know. Next, Shona, say you want message from Taro. Well, it will turn well for you. Just the process with the landlord is going to be rather aggravating, but it will turn very well for you at the end. Those are cards shown the same. The message is that if you do want to pass to the next level, some amenities and comfies needs to be let go of. That is the message here. Simply said, there are things that you like to do, uh, which needs to be abolished before you can move to the next level. And just to give you an example, right? For example, you may want to transform your business and move to the next level, but you may have the habit to address your clients as friends, and that will never traverse your business to the next level because I just isn't professional, right? I mean, you addressing your clients as your friends. So while it may be thing you love doing and connecting with your clients on a more humane and an intimate level, again, it may not be professional, and that may be the thing that is stopping you to transform your business into the next level. That is just for example. But the message for you is that if you do want to move to the next level, you will have to abolish some pleasantries that you are clinging to right now. All right, next, Rocky. You're welcome. Those are your cards, Rocky. So what do you need to know? It's very important. And what the cards are saying is that there is a person that you are attempting to satisfy. Okay, that may be, for example, your boss, or maybe a client you have, or maybe, your spouse. And in that particular department, you can't satisfy them. I mean, for them, um, simply your success, or the success that can be accomplished, simply it's not enough. So what do you need to know? It is that you are far enough already with the preparation, with the planning, and it's just time to act. Okay, it's just time to go forward with what you have came up with. Just to give you an example here, Rocky, say you and your husband are looking for a new house, and you have a plan what that house is, what the furnishes to be, and so on and so forth. And when you share it with them, they're never happy. Okay, when you share it with your husband is never happy. You change it, however, you may think they like it, they're unhappy as well. They give you a suggestion, you put it on the plan, you put it on the schematics. They see it, they say no, 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 no. I thought it's gonna be good, but it's not good, and it's just they are never happy with what it comes up with. So what do you need to know? According to these cards, it is the show plan, or your preparation is as perfect as it can be, and it's time to go forward with it. Because again, no matter how much you try, there is always going to be something that they are going to be unhappy with. And it's a person who uh, it's an investor, for a lack of a better word, right? The resources are coming from them. So that is what you need to know. Okay, next, MT. Those are the cards for you, MT. So what you need to know is that there is a lady that likes you or loves you, and you are unaware of it. And in the next few days, that lady will make you an offer, for a lack of better words. Some kind of an offer. And that offer, it will feel off the charts. It's like you are not going to expect it. So that's how you're gonna recognize who that lady is. And what you need to know about the offer is that whether you take it or not is gonna work for you. It's not a question right or wrong decision. It all comes to a personal preferences. If you do decide to take the offer, it will be a challenging one, but it's gonna carry on quite good rewards with it. So that is what you need to know. All right, next, uh, Jennifer, you want to know about your spirit guide. You're welcome, MT. So the true inquiry, hold on a second to open it up. Seem to know about energy healing. I'm gonna explain that. Those are the cards. Well, it wants you to know that you should keep on practicing it religiously. But if you do decide to go on a different route, it's gonna be okay. Though practicing that thing you inquired for is gonna bring you satisfaction, sensual joy, and fulfillment, but only if you're practicing it all the time. And it's gonna cost you some harmony in your life. Okay, and last but not least, that will be News Devon. So you have an inquiry of what you want to know. What do you need to know, I mean. So let's have a look. Those are your cards, News Devon. You need to know that in the next few days, you should not show any weakness whatsoever. You shouldn't show hesitation, emotional distress, love as well, because love is a weakness, unfortunately, these days. Because the matter at hand will require a firm and controlling hand, which is going to be your hand. And a lot of people are going to look up for you or look up to you to clean up the mess. And you won't be able to do so if you show a weakness. Next few days are going to be days where you are going to make the setup for your near to the to the moderate future, and it will be decided whether you will be able to face the ups and downs in that future with ease. And the more weakness and the more emotional state you show and you go by with in the next few days, the harder you're gonna make it for the future to face those ups and downs. So you must become an iron lady, for lack of better words here, if you want to make things easier for you. Okay. This is gonna do it for tonight. That puts an end to the super chat. So yeah, this is gonna do it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your generosity as well. And we're gonna see each other Sunday, which is 26th, where the topic is going to be Mercury direct. Mercury is going direct the 29th. I'm gonna do it at the 26th. Yes, News Devon, I just did. You had the Emperor with the 7 of Pentacles. So yeah, see you next time. And until then, bye.